suicide himself to get his damage on
well
top. Rennick will then die. They're able to land a really good combination on Rennick to keep him from his damage. Annie is on the run. Kaisa should be back to this fight momentarily. Oh, speaking of the devil, here comes Kaisa. Annie lands the ult. Kaisa is kiting away. However, she probably doesn't want to step too much closer. Oh, she does, and she's going to get right into the Maokai root. And the Vex says, thank you very much. And then follows that up with deleting the end.
Dang, now if they kill Tibbers, I believe they can open up the inhibitor and maybe take
I'm thinking they get the inhib in one tower here. I don't think Rennick by himself with the Karthus is going to be able to stop this.
Oh my goodness, the flash on the Nautilus, and he still hits the hook.
Re-engage, hits the hook, takes out the Karthus, follow up from Amumu, then clears out the Gnar. Kaisa and the Rise are going to have to back up to their tower. Well, here comes Sona with that Skarner. Are we going to see a Skarner drag the winds out into the base here? Or Zinzao is going to... Oh, here we go. Skarner dead in one combo. Oh my goodness. Here comes Winzao, and he is just going to delete the Ashe, give the Lexa kill, and let's give a shout out to the staff members for running it down this game like pure chance. Taking that loss really, really hard. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the LXC S1 Summer Split Gold. Well, take it away, Agai. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing today, Astro Glider?
Just another day here in Texas, enjoying the 99-degree weather.
Ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that the truth? Man, it sucks down here. But it's also the best place to live.
Oh, well, the food is great. It's just the heat. We don't like to talk about so much. How we doing for tonight? We ready for tonight's game?
I think we are ready. I think we're ready. Got some interesting lineups tonight. It's going to be Clinical versus TE Phantasm. I am excited about this one. What about you?
I am doubly excited. I get to see my former teammate in action this evening. Good old Frosted Crow. We'll get to see some of the Crow Show action, as well as getting to see what looks to be a banger of a matchup going into this week one.
Okay, so we are excited for the same reasons then. Because I'm here for Frosted. I want to see everybody else do great. I'm excited for everybody's performance tonight, but I am here for Frosted. Sorry. Y'all heard me during the draw show. Y'all know where my allegiances lie.
All right, so let's get into a little bit about this matchup tonight. We do have Clinical versus TE Phantasm. We have Frosted Crow hunting down the top lane for Clinical. We have Pharma coming out of the jungle. Fast Beyond Light rocking the mid. I believe the Yes Parade will be on the support this evening, and Helium Bamboo coming out for ADC for Team Clinical. On the TE Phantasm side, we have Riptide coming out of the top, Vordaddy coming out of the jungle, Belby coming out of the mid. I'm going to get Grim Defray's name wrong, coming out for ADC, and then Fox Stepbro looks like he will be support this evening. What are your thoughts going into this matchup? Have you looked a little bit at the stats, see what's shaking?
I have, and from looking at it, I'm thinking we're gonna have. I want to say we're gonna have probably a bloody game today. They have the stats looking towards both these teams. They tend to fight. They like to fight. They like the team fight, and I'm excited to see that today.
Well, I've been looking a little bit more in depth about these rosters, taking a look at picks across the board. Fox Debro looks like a converted mid player to me, playing support, hiding as a support player. I've seen some of his picks out here. I'm expecting something spicy from him down bot, looking at what he likes to play, unless they're going to ban out some of these picks. I don't expect to see as Heimer's going to get much action tonight. Looking at that pick, I would like to see somebody play Cassio this evening, but I don't think I'm going to get my wish on that.
I don't think we are either. Twitch chat is right. Probably not going to see that tonight. Disappointing. Also,
why is everyone going to ban Cass? Yeah, why is everyone going to ban a Cass?
Other than the fact that she's sleeper OP,
I think she's just slow and consistent. That's what she is. She's just a consistently
good,
great champ. That's it.
Consistently good. That's the no. When you're consistently good, you're sleeper OP.
So let's take a look here. We're going into the draft phase here. We got Clinical on blue. We have TE Phantasm on red. Going into ban phase. I would expect to see here an Aurelian Soul ban. Blue side might want to prioritize Urgot since both top laners look like they've been playing it a lot recently. So if it's not banned out, I might look for them to pick that early. I would also expect to see probably, if I was guessing, looking at these rosters, Boardaddy does run a lot of the Rengar. They might ban that out. And then on jungle side for Clinical, there's a lot of Maokai and there's a lot of Ivern. So we got the Aurelian Soul banned out. We got the Yorick banned out. And Phantasm is banning out the good old Seraphine. What are you thinking so far here on this early bans?
I think these are very targeted bans. Coming in on blue side, they're obviously targeting the top and mid laner. They want to make probably a little bit easier for their carries to do their jobs. Coming for the TE Phantasm for their bans. The support ban was a little bit unexpected, actually. Wasn't expecting to prioritize Seraphine in the first phase. The Caitlyn ban makes sense. Once they take away that comfortability, Caitlyn is also one of those consistently good champions, and Maokai is pretty strong right now. Very versatile role. Could have been a mid lane, top lane, or a support Maokai. So, good ban from T Phantasm.
Well, Farmer's got a lot of games on that Maokai, running almost a 70% win rate. So no surprise they want to take it away. Although looking at his Ivern, he's been rocking a good 65% win rate on the Ivern since the update. So we're gonna be seeing him on the Rift. Last patch, the Ivern did get a lot of love, both for Daisy and just across the board. He lost his special sauce. He lost the ability to share his buffs. We do see the Yuumi being picked up. I know that's a personal favorite for some folks around here to get some Yuumi action to go with that Zeri, and then the Sivir picked up. I'll be honest with you. I did some research on this particular Sivir player. Sivir is in a weird spot. She needs that 4th, 5th item to really get going. If she gets behind early, she can be punished, and then she kind of falls off. She never gets her item, so she really needs to get that 4th item to really take off. So I'll be really interested to see how the Sivir performs this evening.
I mean, I agree with you. I think Sivir's in a pretty weird spot too, item wise. With the whole what's it called? Critical the golden sword. I'm forgetting it right now. I have no idea why I just suddenly blanked.
You go into the Affinity Edge, and then you go into the Static Shiv, and you go that route. But she really needs that 3rd and 4th item to really come online. We do see the Nautilus being picked up here. Not seeing really much mid action, so that should be singling a support Nautilus to protect that Sivir. We do see the Elise coming out more in line with what they have been running in their particular comp. Elise, she lost some of her strength a couple patches ago, but she has seen a lot of pro play. She's still a great pick option, still able to kind of play her in a bruiser role if you want to make her more tankier. Going into these last bans, what are you expecting to see here, okay?
I expect to see something from Clinical. Well, from T1, it's TE Phantasm, so I expect something like that. Yeah, I was expecting that. I expect them to take away the Malphite. But this does leave Frosted with a lot of options. He has a pretty deep champion pool, actually, so he could pull out anything from Lysandra to Aatrox. The Gragas takeaway, that's pretty big. Gragas is one of their most played, and he's pretty powerful right now.
Gragas is going to be losing some of that power, some of that sustain. I believe that patch goes live in about 2 days, I think was the announcement. So looking to see the Urgot is going to be banned out. They do not want to allow Frosted Crow, that particular champion, although it does leave open a few of his picks as well. There's the Mordekaiser. He does play a lot of Atrox. He's been known to play a little Kled from time to time. Let's see what this last ban is. I would expect to be a targeted ban on the mid. And we do see the ban on the Annie, which is a big, huge mid. I think she's running a 70% win rate on that Annie. So do see that banned out. Do see the Ornn picked up for TE Phantasm. More going to be more of the team fight version of this, not so much the split push, but being able to apply that pressure, being able to get the Zeri some items early on will be hugely beneficial for their early game. And let's see what Clinical counters with.
I mean,
all right, Syndra, and here comes the Mordekaiser. So they do put Frosted Crow on a champion that he's very familiar with. He has several different versions of this build that he likes to play depending on his matchup, so he is able to flex the Mord out. And then the Syndra. The Syndra is a huge range champion mid. She causes a lot of problems for champions. Please don't pick Victor into it. I feel for Victor players when they have to play a Syndra. I'd like to see something a little bit more flashy into the Syndra. Maybe the Kassadin, if they're comfortable playing that matchup. A little rough early on, but once you get on top of that Syndra, you can delete her from fights. They do go for the safer option with the Lysandra. Syndra's going to outtrade the Lysandra early. However, Lysandra, if she can get a gank or two early from the Elise, great pick potential between the two of them, and also as well coming with the Ornn with the Elise. So Elise does have some good pick prio with the Lysandra and the Ornn. And on the other side, just a front to back beef of a team. You got the Mordekaiser, you got the Syndra, you got the Nautilus, you got the Ivern. You have everything you need to try to protect this Sivir and protect her as best as you can so she can scale. So what are your thoughts going into this first matchup?
I mean, I called it like I saw it. From their stats, this is probably going to be a bloody game. These teams are built to fight. T Phantasm looks like they're trying to take more of an early game approach to it. They're probably going to be the strongest in the early to mid game, while Clinical, they really need to get that mid game, late game for that Sivir to really come online. They do have the tools there that if they can get strong in the early game, they could probably end this mid game with the Mordekaiser Syndra. Mid game is her time. She can pick up from there and just really destroy anybody. So I'm expecting to be a bloody game, which I'm excited for. And if it's not, I'm expecting to be a long game where eventually we'll get to see Sivir destroy people in 2 auto attacks.
I'm really interested to see what the Zeri is going to do here. If she's going to opt to take the cleanse to try to counteract the CC on the other side, the Nautilus being able to kite around rather than getting on top of her. So I would expect to see the cleanse option picked up for her, keep her safe from the Ivern and the Nautilus. I would like to see the Elise really focusing bot lane or mid lane, trying to get them ahead. The Ornn and the Mord is kind of is an interesting matchup because the Mord can counter the Ornn if the Mord can get on top of the Ornn for any prolonged period of time. So it's kind of a bleed matchup, if you will, for the Ornn if the Mord can get on top. But if the Ornn can dodge everything and the Mord is expending everything he's got, then the Mord can't get to him and the Ornn can control that matchup. And then, like we said, Ornn giving the items to Zeri and Lysandra has consequences in the mid game. I mean, knowing Frosted Crow though, he's going to take that fight to that Ornn early and try to get a lead.
Same thing. I'm about to say the same thing. I mean, come on, this is Frost. He's gonna fight this Ornn. He's going to fight this Ornn. It's exciting, and I cannot wait to see what we're. I'm actually wanting to know what the Zeri is going to build too. You know, Zeri actually has quite a few build options, and I'm kind of wondering where she's going to go with this.
Given the fact that they have 3 tanks on the other side, I would not expect the weird Korean build that you've been seeing with her, with like the Trinity Force and the BT going into that route. If I had to guess, just going off looking at her last couple of games, I think she's going to go for more of the kill you attack on hit damage. But again, playing against those 3 tanks, if she doesn't get an LDR, she's in for a lot of trouble. So I'm kind of interested to see what her build path is going to be. I'm really fearful. Syndra Lissandra match is such a chaotic match. If the Syndra gets ahead early, it is very, very hard for that Lissandra list to farm in peace. If the list can get early lead on with the Elise, helping her to get some damage onto that Syndra, drive her away so she can't be one shot with her combos, then we got ourselves a really good game. So really think the jungle pressure here is going to be interesting to see. Ivern is just so strong right now. He is so hard to play against right now because he can just roam. He can set up picks everywhere, and then he's just boosting his team. He's super strong. Kind of surprised they didn't ban it in Barista Seraphine, but we'll see how that plays out for this matchup.
I mean, we will. Unfortunately, I cannot see a timer on how long this is going to be. We're going to be waiting, but I do know that, like you said, jungle pressure is going to make a difference here. I mean, with Lissandra in the mid lane, I expect Elise to actually pay a lot of attention to the mid lane. I mean, Elise Lissandra, that's a catch combo right there. I mean, ENW, Elise lands her E, and then she pounces on her. It's sad,
The
but
Elise Sandra combo is going to be really strong. It allows them to get on top. The Sivir, though, has a spell shield, so obviously you're going to be playing around that. And then she's still got to get through all those tanks. I would expect the Mordekaiser, if he had his way, not to be ulting the Ornn. I would expect them more to be taking away the lists if he can, and kind of curtail their ability to really get in there. So be really interesting to see what Crow does on that Mord when it comes to the team fights, and then to play on the initial early on. What's the over under on the Nautilus invade level 1?
Pretty good. I was at it pretty good. I don't see a reason they shouldn't. I mean, do you see a reason they shouldn't they have Nautilus, they have Ivern, I mean not Lissandra, Syndra. If they catch somebody, they're dead.
The problem with the invade here is the Lissandra passive. It is super strong at level 1. And all they need is to get one kill to get that passive rolling. And if Elise can get a pick on one of them initially, the problem is that forces the Elise to take her stun first, which you really don't want to be taking your cocoon first on Elise unless you're getting a super hard leash, as it does kind of put you behind the first rotation, whereas the Nautilus doesn't get really punished for taking this Q first level. And so, yeah, but that Lissandra passive, if somebody messes up and oversteps and they do manage to get a kill, or, they send Ornn with them and it's a 5-man invade versus a 4, try to get an early pick, Lissandra passive can actually have consequences on that level 1 that can really hurt them. But I do expect the invade. I do expect it'll be a 5-man invade. And I do expect that if Ivern or Nautilus can land something juicy, then we'll be seeing that. All right, we are going to go to a 2-minute break before we get into this game, and super excited to get this game started and see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are on the Rift and getting ready to go. Let's see if our earlier prediction about the invade is coming true. Augie ready.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Let's see.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Nope, everybody's splitting up. Seems like everybody's going to lane.
All right, so we are seeing a 5-point strategy. Typically, on a 5-point, you'd like to see the Elise in the middle and the Lysandra on the side to kind of hide a little bit more about which direction your jungle might be going. So they've gone to more traditional style here. Well, the Elise will drop the ward and then recall.
Okay. So that's usually a sign that she'll be starting at the blue buff.
Yep. That's usually
So-
traditionally what you see. So if you snuck up a little bit further, you'd catch that and know off the go. They didn't really get a lot of information. They are doing the sneaky down bot here, moving the Nautilus in with the Sivir, try to get a quick word in.
And it looks like the Zeri is going to be defending that with the Yumi. So no success there from them on that one.
Nope, but it does give them that it's either a leashless across the board. The Mord will delay into the lane up top, which will give Ivern a little bit more cover on which direction that he went, and we're off. All right, here. So what we're going to have early on here is just kind of posturing across the board, try and get a little pressure on here. I'd like to see the Zuri not get caught by an early Nautilus hook, so you're kind of going to see them kind of playing cat and mouse games here down below, if you will. Up.
Oh, hold on. Is this going to be the catch you were talking about? No, just a little bit harassed. Never mind. Nautilus key comes out. Exhaust goes down onto Sivir. Still fighting the fight, even though Nautilus is backing out. A lot of damage on the Sivir and Nautilus for pretty much nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, early on, the Sivir does not offer much in terms of trade, and Zeri is going to win that 9 times out of 10, unless really bad mistake.
Yeah, excuse me. Not for nothing. They did manage to get both summoners off of Yumi.
They did.
Oh,
see the Lysandra come right in. Elise does not get the follow-up stun with her cocoon.
Off of Syndra. More action in the bot lane. Exhaust is going down to Zeri from Nautilus. They're still fighting this, pushing out.
Might have a little bit of a delay here. I do apologize for that. All right, continuing the fight. The Nautilus is forced to flash away. The Zeri is chasing with the Yumi, getting back onto the Sivir. Here comes the Ivern. First blood achieved by the Yumi.
Ivern is going to try to do something here. Never mind. He decides it's a bad idea. Backs out. Woof. That was a lot of action right there. And it comes out with a double kill in the bot lane. 1-1 on the support and AD carry.
Well done from the Yumi, able to keep the Zeri alive, able to at least get one of the kills on there. That's important early on onto the Zeri. Unfortunately, the Sivir is going to lose quite a bit of CS here if she doesn't make it back, and it's going to bounce off the tower. We do see the Ivern coming around, though, trying to relieve some pressure.
Good on him. Good for them on that one. Don't think he should stick around, though. Even with them coming, it's just not a good idea for them. So they're just going to back out on red side, and they're going home. They've got gold to spin.
All right, we're going to see a little bit about what the Zeri intends to build early on, which path she's going to take. We are seeing Elise come up top, trying to land a cocoon. She misses it. Mord able to just kind of back away. Nothing really gained or lost there.
Oh, is that that may be the Trinity Force, because that's the Sheen.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see the Trinity Force build coming back onto the Zeri. The Ornn lost a little bit of HP, still able to keep up in CS with the Mordekaiser. We are looking to see maybe a repeat gank in mid this time around from Elise when she comes back in. Oh, see a little bit of trading on here. This is not what you want the Ornn to be doing. Props are able to get some damage there.
Be doing. He just wants to fight, and it looks like he's getting what he wants. He's still on the Ornn. Ornn knocks him up. A lot of HP loss for Ornn in that one.
Net gain there from the Mordekaiser on the Ornn, able to out-trade, get a little bit more damage, catch up in CS. This is kind of going to repeat itself early on unless the Orc can avoid these trades, at least until he gets a couple more levels on him when he can sustain better against it. Crow is pushing into that tower. Pretty crazy here. We do know that the Elise full cleared. She went back bottom. So now interested to see here what the Ivern and the Elise are going to do, if they're going to see some action mid. We do see the Nautilus floating up a little bit. We do see the Elise pointing out that the Nautilus has been spotted out, so nothing should happen there.
This is making his way around.
Oh, but now here comes the Ivern.
If the Q lands, this could be a kill. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Here we go. We got the Ivern stunned. We got the Q from the Nautilus, the hook to secure the kill, and then Nautilus died right after.
Yeah, Lysandra does get the revenge. I mean, we could call it revenge kill on the Nautilus. So that's a good thing for Lysandra. Not too behind now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nautilus got the kill on that. So it didn't go to the Ivern, it didn't go to the Syndra. Unfortunately, the Nautilus got that. Not what you want to see out of your support Nautilus, getting that kill, unfortunately, especially when he was the one trading his life. Plus, now you have the issue where Zuri's starting to get a lead on the Sivir with the CS, and she knows that Nautilus isn't there yet. So she's going to do a little poke damage. I believe she saw the Nautilus and then kind of backed away.
Okay, got more action in the mid lane. It's another gang coming in. Everything does land on Syndra, and Syndra is going to go down here. That's great job. That's great job from Red side. They saw Syndra was a little bit out of her ways, and they caught her. Didn't have
good play.
Did not use it.
Yeah, I mean, once the first root landed and the cocoon landed, I think he just kind of gave up. He knew he was dead at that point. The Ivern isn't in position yet to help. Probably save the flash for another day and live, since it had just really come back up. We do see the Lysandra get some chip damage on that tower, able to take a plate. And we do see the early Dragon Call coming out from TE side and trying to get that particular dragon. They are able to scare it pretty easily with the prio that they established from bot lane. So good job. We got a 4-1 score. Just as we kind of talked about, the early game here coming out, trying to set up those kills. The Elise is doing a good job with the pressure. Ivern's matching pretty good. He did get the one in the middle on Lysandra with the Nautilus's help. So be really interested to see this Ivern now, if he's going to look towards bot and try to get Sivir some relief here, or if he's going to look to continue playing off the mid and the Syndra.
That is something you have to look out for. He is heading towards his top side right now. Looks like they would want to secure Rift or secure this Ornn, but it looks like Mordekaiser is going to handle that himself. So that's the kill out for Frosted Crow, taking the lead in this lane from the Ornn. And yeah, looks like they're going for Rift Herald. Lysandra is going to go try to spot them out. The ward to go down, but they're in Ivern's bushes. So I don't know if that ward can actually see them.
No, at this point, it's not going to see it inside the bush. Lysandra has to know that, the Mord just killed the Ornn, so the Mord's going to be close, as well as the Syndra able to rotate. So even if she really, really wanted to do something, it's not worth it. What I do want to see is bottom is punish the Zeri. Punish this Zeri. There we go. Get on top of the Zeri. You know she doesn't have any help. Punish her. Take her CS. Very wise, smart play from that Zeri. Yumi combo, knowing that the Nautilus isn't there. Punish that Sivir, get inside, and they're going to continue this chase. They're not done. They are going flash for the kill, and the Sivir goes down.
I was going to say that was a good play from Sivir, actually, because Sivir matched a spell shield to let the third Yumi wave that would have stunned her. So I thought that was a good thing for her, but unfortunately stuck around, got greedy for the CS, and got killed for it.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, she just wanted to try the last hit and take some pressure off the tower. I really wasn't worth it. It was only 3 CS there. She's got to know with that Nautilus on not there to support her, that's going to be punished. So Unfortunate play for her. But we'll see if she's now down some CS and 2 kills to that Zeri. So Zeri's got the Trinity Force already built. So it tells us we're probably going to see the Bloodthirster as the next item. I would suspect we do see the Elise doing the rush on her boots, which is kind of standard. Not certain if she's going Horizon into Harvester or what she's going to do yet. We'll see here momentarily. I would suspect that she'll probably go with the Harvester, but we'll have to see on that one.
If she goes Proto Belt, that's a mad thing itself.
I wouldn't necessarily do a Proto Belt into that many tanks. I'm not certain you want to go that crazy. You can, but there's punishment for that one. The Zeri is going to be a problem, though. The Lysandra, she's matching now. She's a little bit ahead on the CS of Lysandra. And here we go, bot. We got now the Ogre coming down here with the Nautilus, getting some damage into this tower.
And Rift Herald is going to come down. That's what they came down here for the Rift Herald. So this tower should be going down.
I think this tower is going to go down. It's probably a good thing for the server to get her off of this lane and get her up top.
Oh, somewhere else. Ooh. Daisy comes out, but the Yumio comes out to counter that.
Crow doing work on the Elise, caught out of position, and Crow deletes the Elise. They are able to save the tower, which is good news for them. And we do see the Nautilus being really, really risky with that teleport and realizes he probably shouldn't do that there. So really, they didn't get the tower. We got another co onto the Mordekaiser, onto the Elise. Didn't get to see the first part of that particular action, so I'll be interested to see what happened on the roam down. I imagine Elise might have been trying to get an evade in, got spotted, and Mord ulted her. We do see the Lysandra and the Syndra just kind of going back and forth. Syndra was not able to get an early lead or an early kill on that Lysandra, and so now we're at a point that Lysandra can farm more effectively. Oh, we do see the Elise coming in. Are we going to see it? Here we go.
That ultimate, the E comes down, the W. Is Syndra going anywhere? Nope, she's not, but they're coming in. Nautilus is here. Ooh. Elise gets blown up as soon as Nautilus gets there. They're going to try Lysandra too, but I don't think they actually want that fight.
Oh, she was limited to the tower. You know the Nautilus was thinking about that Q. I don't think he was expecting the Iron root to hit. But he might want to have taken that Q. You knew the list. She didn't have her E. It was on cooldown. It is one of her longer cooldowns, so she's now just got it back up, and she's coming right back in for chip damage, although she's just trying to push that wave so she can get a good reset in. I'm assuming that they've seen that. They're trying to ping her out, but they're not going to be able to get her. She's too close to that tower, and she can get away.
They did make Syndra use the teleport to get back to lane. So they could try to, I guess, fight her again?
No, so Liz was trying to push that wave in so she could get it to bounce, and then Syndra wouldn't get the CS. But so Syndra was able to get back in there and clean up the CS, so she didn't really lose anything on that.
We have a dragon here. Is this a dragon fight?
This is a pretty risky dragon fight right now with the Elise and the Zeri. If they get a pick on somebody, they are going to delete. The Zeri does already have a Trinity Force built, and so you're really relying on the Iron to make a good steal, although Daisy's almost dead, and now we just got posturing still going on. This is where, Phantasm team's going to have an advantage with the Yuumi in here. Let's see what we get. Oh, nice little play there from Belby to get on top, and now we see the Zeri running people down. Belby is now chasing the Nautilus, and that Zeri is going to delete that Nautilus here in a second.
And that was the fight that Clinical chose, and unfortunately they still couldn't get anything out of it. Well, speaking of getting anything out of it, top lane Mordekaiser is still putting in the work onto Ornn, just fighting away, fighting to his heart's content.
You do see the Rylai's on the Mordekaiser. He does have it completed. You do see the Bammies on the Ornn to get a little chip damage in, plus the Megatron cloak there to try to get there. Here we go, though. Are we gonna see a dive here? This is not a good dive with the Syndra. The Mord is kind of low. The Syndra's gonna have to do the work. We do see the Syndra trying to proxy this wave.
Coming down the lane.
This is a really, really bad spot that they don't want to be in right now. I'm not certain they want to continue this. They might want to back up. That Lysandra's there.
Nas is here. Can he do anything to help the situation? Mord is still gonna fight this. They're in the ultimate, of course. Now are they going to actually dive the Ornn?
They are now going to go back in for this Ornn. Now after Mordekaiser's cleaned up the fight, they are going to put the kill onto the Mordekaiser, now making him 4-0 on that side of Clinical. He's really doing work here for him. He's been able to punish this Ornn several times. They got the dive on him. Oh, now action bot lane.
I feel like I've seen this before. Good news is that is a first item tag shield from Silver, by the way. So prioritizing the wave clear here understands where they are in this lane and just trying to keep the minions away from the tower. Oh, we have a fight here in the top lane. Looks like everybody's trying to collapse on the Mordekaiser Nautilus. More flashed out. We'll see if that gets him to safety. Doesn't look like because Ornn is there. Ornn just basically doing his thing. Elise is trying to kill the Nautilus. Finally gets him. They are diving the Silver down there in the bot lane, and they do get her. Unsurprising.
Yeah, I mean, the Yuumi Zeri combination, you put your Silver down there alone, praying she can farm. You're trying to get leads elsewhere. You know the Silver's not going to be online.
The fight isn't over. Lissandra engages ult herself to mitigate damage from the Syndra. Syndra finally ults, does not do anything to Lissandra. She's still up. Elise is in the corner waiting for something to happen. Unfortunately, Mordekaiser is strong right now, full health. They can't do anything to him. Flashes out, and the fight's over.
Yeah, unfortunately, the way this is kind of set up right now is really the only one that they can that's going to take out the Mordekaiser at this point is the Zeri. And they've got the Zeri just kind of pushing bot and taking towers, and taking objectives with the Yuumi, and they're really just fighting with the three-man team of the Lissandra, the Elise, and the Ornn. And they're fighting with a four-man because the Nautilus is roaming. They've kind of conceded that the Silver is just going to be a farm, and they're trying to alleviate pressure. The problem with this is the Mord is a problem. They don't have anything on that team right now that's going to deal with this Mord outside of that Zeri. So Clinical is willing to kind of trade and put the kills onto the Mord at this point because they know that there's nothing that's really going to deal with them. Now this will eventually kind of change and open up here. Maybe we get the Elise to a point where she can kind of deal with this Mord, or at least make a pick on it to where they can delete it. But the Mord is a problem at this point.
Yes, sir, that is true. And the Nautilus comes out, but the Zeri dash gets us into safety. And like you said, Mord's a problem, and he continues to be a problem in the top lane for that Ornn. Keeping the push up while his team sieges this mid tower. Take the tower down. Herald is still alive. At least he's caught the Nautilus Q. Ease out onto the Raptors. But unfortunately, Zeri by herself, and unfortunately, she gets picked up by the Silver. So that shutdown gold, putting quite a lot of money in Silver's pocket.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lissandra wasn't there. She wasn't able to get to that fight. The Elise actually jumped up and escaped over into the chickens, and therefore it was just a Zeri and the poor Yuumi against everything that was in the front. So they were able to get a kill and a shutdown onto the Silver, I believe, for that particular kill, which put some gold back into that Silver's pocket. And while the Mord was able to get some damage in on that tower and just kind of abusing the Ornn. So not certain what caused the Lissandra to be delayed so much, but that Silver gold on that shutdown is going to be really, really useful for her. And we're going to see a little bit about what she's planning to do with that gold here.
Like, if I'm correct, unless she's just currently sitting on it, does have the Stag Shield, boots, Grievous boots of Greaves, and the Caulfield's Warhammer. So
we are posturing for a 5-man fight. Looks like we're gonna see a 5-man here. We got everybody in position. We got the posturing here. I would expect to see somebody on this clinical tower trying to make a pick anywhere they can with what they've got. The Mord going right in.
All right, Protobell tries to grab the Zeri. Again, dashes out to safety. A little harass onto them. Okay, Lissandra attempted to engage. Did not pan out. Daisy just being Daisy. Syndra stun hits 4 people. A lot of harass going back and forth. No one has hit the dragon yet, so that's not aggroed.
See Belby on the side over here. Belby's going to go in. He's going to E. He's going to get the W. He just, no, he gets immediately. Has to ult himself to try to stave off disaster. They are able to get some damage onto the Mord, and Belby is able to kite away a little bit. The Elise shuts down the Mordekaiser. There goes the poor Zeri into the team, and now we see Clinical actually going to pull this out, looks like.
Elise did get the Nautilus in the end.
Elise did get the Nautilus. The Ivern's able to finish up. However, this dragon looks like it's going to be secured unless Belby's going to do something crazy. He does get spotted out and deleted by the Sivir there.
Yumi.
Whoopsie. Yumi's on her own by herself. She's like, I don't want nothing to do with this fight. I'm just go over here.
He gave away Lissandra.
Take Lissandra. I'm gonna go get some catnip. She does get the recall in. All in all, good clean fight from Clinical. They were able to get the kill onto Zuri, who got separated from her team. And the kills got a good kill onto the Sivir, giving her a little bit more gold.
I don't know if you saw that, but what happened was with the Zeri thing, Frosted Crow pretty much just walked up and ulted her, and unfortunately she was stuck in the shadow dimension. I don't forget what it's called. She was stuck in the shadow dimension with him. She tried to go over the wall, did get away, but as soon as she came out of it, she was in the middle of his team.
Yeah, this is unfortunately going to be a problem for them because unless the Ornn is going to stand directly in front and with the Yumi support, the Zeri can be caught out by the Mord ult pretty easy. And now we're going to kind of see them play around Baron, play around their top lane, who does have that lead still. He is becoming problematic for him. But here we go.
I mean, you saw as soon as they lost Zeri, the fight seemed to just fall apart. That was bad. The engage from Lissandra too. Didn't even get a chance to ult till her health bar was pretty much depleted.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Lissandra build route that she's taking is kind of what you would not want to see from a burst damage perspective. She's elected to take the Rod of Ages approach. Not looking. Yeah, so she's not taking the Luden's approach or the Leandri's build to kind of counteract some of these tanks. So she's gone for more of the Rod of Ages and the Archangel staff. Which I'm not certain I like in this particular matchup.
And she's built very defensively, and I don't think that's the way to go here. She should have been looking to blow up these carries, and unfortunately, she just can't do that right now. Like you said, with the Rod of Ages and the Archangel staff, I mean, she's gonna stay in a fight longer, but they don't need that right now. Elise does get hit with the Knowledge Q. That is the pick there. They stun her. She's down. Zeri, unfortunately, is also going to die there with her. Goes over the wall. But doesn't matter because Syndra ultimate follows you. More ults to Yumi and then just one taps her.
I'm not certain I agree with that Lissandra teleport coming in after the fight was already won. We are going to see them going on with Baron. I'm not certain how much damage the Ornn and Lissandra are going to be able to do. The Mordekaiser is basically driving them both back because he does not care about the Lissandra and the Ornn.
Okay, hold on.
He should have cared a little bit. The Lissandra got caught out there. Mord was already kind of low. We do see them pulling back from the Baron, though, and able to get damage. And down goes the Lissandra. The Ornn's going to try to flash away. Will they chase or reset? I think they're going to reset here. They've got what they wanted. They got some kills out. Now we got a 16-15 game. There's a 2K gold lead. You've got the gold lead on the Mordekaiser. You've got the Sivir coming back here on the Zeri. The Zeri's made a couple of fatal mistakes that have got her caught. And has opened the door from the Sivir. We've now reached the 24-minute mark, which means now we typically are going to see that Sivir, if she can get her other item out there, she'll start to be more impactful in these fights. And we still don't have a really good answer for the Mordekaiser outside of the Zeri.
We do not, unfortunately. Also, interesting pick. They went with Navori Quick Blades instead of IE.
So this is becoming a more common build. Is the quickly build onto the Sivir. It does give her more cooldown reduction and the ability to spam her spell shield, as well as to get more Qs out to open up a fight. So I have seen a lot of folks opting into that Quick Blades version with the static. It'll be really interesting to see. I'm assuming at this point she knows she doesn't read an LDR for this group unless she wants to target the Ornn. So I'm kind of interested to see what she's going to go on the next item here.
Okay. Then next item, is that going to be an Immortal Shield Bow? Unless I'm looking at the items wrong.
No, I haven't really seen her playing the shield bow option onto that Sivir. I would more expect that to, what is she going? Double longsword with crit cloak. That builds into.
Oh, we have a pick here.
Oh.
We have a pick here. They did get the Elise, and now they're going to get the Lissandra. Unfortunately, Nada's ultimate knocks her out of her E. And unfortunately, nothing they can do about that there. The ultimate does not save her life. And
yeah, I think there was a miscommunication there. She was trying to get early vision for the dragon. She got immediately spotted and caught out, and no one was able to rotate. We are seeing the Zuri and the Yumi lean towards Baron's side. They know they have to concede this particular dragon, and they're going to try to stave off. Maybe Zuri can kite around, get enough damage to where they just can't take the Baron, but this is very crazy. This is very dangerous for this Zuri playing one catch, and she's it. She's going to try to get the chip damage. I think the Ornn is going to come around from the side, and here we go. There
is that catch you spoke of. Most definitely dead here. Oh, no, flashes out of the Mordekaiser grab. Ivern goes with her and does get the kill. But now Elise is here, but gets stunned by the Ivern. Has the Yumi on it, but really, Elise is not going to take this team 1v5. Ornn is in the back, just being Ornn. And now they're trying to stop the recalls. Maybe trying to wait till Lissandra gets there, see if they can get a pick so they can start Baron.
Yeah, they know they've got a window here. The Lissandra needs to move in and push in if they're going to try to reset it and get them while they're weak. However, it looks like they realize that they don't have vision enough to do it, so they're just going to take a little bit of what they can from the jungle, get a reset, wait for this Zuri to come back up. It's actually a pretty damn good job from that Zuri, able to kite enough damage into them with the Ornn coming from the backside, able to stop the Baron at the trade of Zuri's life. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but at least they did not get the Baron off of that particular play.
Yep, true. Also, that was the last Whisper pickup for Sivir, and on the side of Zeri, we got the Quicksilver Sash and Tiamat. So, Zeri realizes that these stuns and his Mordekaiser and his Nautilus are going to be her downfall, and is trying to mitigate that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting with her going Runaan's over the BT item. I'm assuming because she had the Yumi, that she thought she had enough sustain, so she didn't go the BT route. She's opted for the Quicksilver Sash to stop. Again, this goes back to our previous conversation of was she going to take the cleanse or not. I think she realizes she needs something to kind of deal with all the CC that's being layered onto her. So we are going to see them drive them away from Baron. We're going to get a reset and see if we get a fight.
That's Mordekaiser pick up Proto Belts into the grab on Lissandra. Lissandra is pulled in, ultis mitigate damage. Mordekaiser is still on her though. Now they're on the Zuri though. Exhaust Syndra. Oh, she's down. Yumi is onto the Ornn, and Ornn and Elise are trying to make a great escape. So is Lissandra away from Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser right now is just trying to catch up. Forgoes her and starts the Baron for his team. No teleporting Lissandra, so once she recalls, she will be walking back. Elise and Ornn are trying to do what they can.
Yeah, it was a good pick again. That just they have so much catch with this Ivern, this Nautilus, so many ways to put something on top of you and able to drive you out. This is kind of the protect the Sivir comp that we're seeing now, and they're running it pretty well. They got beaten in the early stages with the Sivir. They've been able to survive. Now they're starting to get to a point where this Sivir is going to be problematic in team fights. They've got so many tanks, so many options. Still don't really have a good answer for the Mordekaiser outside of the Zeri, although I do see that the Elise has completed her Shadow Flame along with going to Harvester. Going to see Azonius coming out of her next. We do see Lysandra also getting her pin item in place, so they are positioning themselves to get some penetration damage onto this Mordekaiser with AP and get some more damage. The Mordekaiser is running a full AP build. Mord, he does not give no cares about saying he needs MR resistance at this point, and he's 7-1. So until somebody tells him otherwise, I can understand the build.
Yep, he has decided that he is going to be the carry that they need, and who can blame him? He's doing a great job. In fact, it's, like you said, his team earlier, they did look like they were trying to switch priority over to him until Sif could get back into this game, which she has, in my opinion. Oh, we do have a pause.
We do have pause coming out, so we'll wait and see here what's going on here. Let's take a look at the item state on some of these other characters that we haven't really talked about. We do see the standard. What do you want to go over?
I want to go over the even shrouded into Abyssal Mask.
So I was going to talk about this. So the Nautilus item, the Abyssal Mask, what it's basically doing is it is enhancing the damage from the Syndra and specifically the Mordekaiser. So it is something that you're seeing the Nautilus run at mid as well as being the first item. So I'm not too surprised to see that particular item come into play, playing again off that Mordekaiser who got the early lead, roaming with the Syndra. So good call out on that particular item. I see the Shadow Fame standard on both the Syndra, but not on the Lysandra. Lysandra opted to go into, like we talked about that Rod build and the Archangels. Now she's going into the penetration route. I'm not a big fan of this particular Lysandra build. She doesn't have the burst she needs. Even when she completes this item, she's not going to be able to one-shot the Sivir. She's not going to be able to one-shot the Lysandra. And unfortunately, if she can't get on top of one of them and deleting them, this is where the Ivern and the Nautilus and the Mordekaiser are just going to run wild on Lysandra. Really would have liked to seen a different build on Lysandra. Not that it's concerning at this point, but just the other builds with Lysandra to deal with tanks are a lot better than that particular build path she's chosen.
I agree with you. I felt that's more of a top Lysandra thing, the off tank build that she's got going on right now. Just kind of unnecessary in this game that she's currently playing. Also, we're speaking of keeping of helping out the team here. On clinical side, the Imperial Mandate pickup from Ivern. Since they moved that away from being a mythic, anybody can pick that up now. So that was a good pickup from him, enhancing his team's damage with his shield, Daisy, and his catches. Anyone who gets queued by him is pretty much a dead man.
Yeah, the follow-up from the Ivan. Here we go. We get back on the restart. We're getting back into the game. Sorry, folks, for the delay. Also, about the Ornn. He didn't complete the Sunfire, instead choosing to take the Jack Show approach and then going into his own Abyssal Mass and smartly taking the Merc Treads, which I think was a really good choice all around from him. We do have a freeze. Unfortunately, do apologize for that. Hopefully, we'll get that corrected here momentarily. And here we go.
Okay. That's the grab from Mordekaiser onto Elise. Doesn't bunch of damage. Elise keys out. Mordekaiser is still fighting. Got him and Ornn in the Shadow Realm. And they're duking it out. He comes back and Elise is ready for him. Into the pounce and he's down. That is a shutdown for Mordekaiser onto the Elise. Like you said earlier, they need to just wait for Elise to be able to handle Mordekaiser, and I believe she's at that point. There goes the Lysandra engage, ultimate onto herself to get everybody in there. A lot of damage goes on the clinical, but Sivir turns it around, and
Sivir is gonna clean that up, and the Yuumi, the support Yuumi, steals a kill there at the last second. And goes down.
Unfortunately, Syndra did steal the Penta.
Yeah, Syndra did steal that Penta, and meanwhile, with the Baron and Power buffs, they are taking down these particular towers. The timers are ticking for 20 seconds. Here we go. It is a race that I think Clinical is going to win. I don't think they can slow this down. Even if the Zeri gets up, the Sivir damage is going to be too much on here, and this is too much.
Yeah,
and here we go.
Yeah, no. That's GG, and it's GG on the side of Clinical what a great game. That was amazing to watch. Now I gotta take my blanket down. Everybody can see me. I'm out here trying to get comfortable. All right. So
Final
that
thoughts. What do you thought? What do you think about that game?
I think that pretty much we called it. A lot of fights. I thought we were gonna have a little bit more priority on the Sivir. They kind of gave up on her until the late game when she got a couple shutdowns that let her get a great influx of gold. I don't agree on what they did earlier with the Nautilus roaming. I feel like that was a bad idea because the whole point of the comp was to try to protect Sivir and get her to a point where she could be strong. And the first thing they did was tell Nautilus go away. And we saw what happened with that. Zarya was able to get a lot of early kills on her, build that Trinity force, and for a while, I feel like the game was in their hands with that.
Yeah, the shutdown that they got onto the Sivir early on was really huge. She got a big influx of gold. She got another shutdown, I think, a minute later at the dragon fight on the I believe the Zuri first, and then I think she got another one on the Elise. That gave her a giant influx of gold. I think it was like 800 for the first shutdown and 600 for the other shutdown. That really got her back in that game. I think if she doesn't get that shutdown and they don't make the mistake and push too far in, I think we have a different game, honestly. Crow was really strong top. He was solid. We knew that going in, he was going to take the fight to the Ornn. The Ornn, unfortunately, tried to take too many trades early on, and that's not what you need your Ornn to be doing into a Mord matchup. He needs to be getting out of there. He needs to be dodging better, and really that came back to haunt him. I thought the Zeri, she got caught by that Nautilus later on in the game a couple of times. Thinking too highly of her damage there and get caught and getting picked. All in all, from TE Phantasm, I think they cleaned up a couple of things, and we're singing a different tune in this game. I think they just made a couple of key mistakes there that allowed Clinical to really kind of just settle into the game, get the Mord, get the Sivir back into the game. Once we get into that third, fourth item into the Sivir, that's when she's really shining in these team fights. And Clinical played it well. They played to their win cons. They got the early lead on the Mord, and eventually just too much for them to handle.
I agree. I mean, Zeri in this game. I mean, again, we talked about earlier if she was going to get the cleanse. You mentioned that. You said you wondered if she was going to be cleansed to this matchup. See, get the Nautilus and everything, and she didn't. She brought Ghost.
Yeah, I'm not certain that the Ghost was. I get the reason of it with the Sivir. You want to have the chase potential. You want to chase her down, but really, with all the pick potential they had that on that team, I'm not certain that was the play. Same with the list, with the build. I'm not certain they want to do that. I think they want to clean that up. Like I said, it was pretty close. It was really good team fights. Really good fights around those Barons. That really just kind of went Clinical's way there all the way through there towards the end. So like to see some adjustments on the build pass, like to see some adjustments cleaning up the positioning. And I'm expecting another banger of the game. What are you thinking in terms of bans that we're going to see on this next game and the adjustments?
Yeah, I doubt there's no chance they don't ban Mordekaiser. I'm sorry. There's no chance they don't ban Mordekaiser. They just watched Frosty walk over them with the Mordekaiser. They're definitely going to be respecting that now. If I was on the side of Clinical, I would think about banning the Elise. Elise put in a lot of work in the early game, and if it wasn't for Frosty's little rampage against their whole team, it might have that Elise would have made a big difference. Like Elise let Lissandra win the lane against Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, but we talked about it. We knew going in that was going to be the route they wanted to take. They had the pick potential. They knew going in, Lissandra E's in, she gets the W, she gets the root, the Elise combos in with the cocoon, and you have a dead Syndra. Unfortunately, that's just, that particular combination is going to work on most of the mages mid simply because they don't have a get out of way jail free card. The only thing I can say if you're going to run that type of combo is you run the Anivia instead of the Syndra. But I know that the Annie was kind of a big one for them because the Annie as well has some potential to outplay but unfortunately, that Annie was just kind of banned right away.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for them. What else
All
would I be
right.
the ban phase?
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break at this point here. Give some time here before we get into this next game. So with that, I will turn it over to you for final thought.
Final thoughts here. I think, like we said earlier, we just need Phantasm to maybe make a couple adjustments to the picks and maybe to their overall, not to their overall strategy, just a couple of picks. I don't think the Ornn was the right call here because it felt like they were confused on what to do with the Ornn. Because from his build path, it seemed like he didn't know what to do either. No offense or shade there. The least great pick, but probably not going to be available to him here. Lissandra, the Lissandra build path out of whack was not the appropriate one for this game. Maybe pick someone who can engage for them and still have that higher HP values they like. Hey, maybe pull out a mid lane Jarvan. I would like to see that. That'd be fun. But yeah, that's what I've got to say here. I mean, clinical, they won the game. You can't criticize them too much. Just maybe don't send your support off when you're doing this to protect the carry count.
All right. Well, let's take a look and see if the next teams are ready, and see if we're going to get a small break here in here in between.
All right. All right, we're back. We are back. Game number 2, TE Phantasm versus Clinical.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going straight into draft here. We got Phantasm is on blue, Clinical is now on red. What are your thoughts on this draft? What are we fixing to see?
All right, well, again, I'm expecting the Mordekaiser band coming out from TE Phantasm. I'm actually not sure if they're going to continue with the Seraphine band. It didn't seem to have as much impact on Clinical as they wanted it to. So we may not see that again. But I'm not sure if they want to let Clinical have that support to see what it can do. So maybe a second phase ban, if anything. From the side of Clinical, I kind of expect the Elise ban, but if they also don't ban as many junglers for TE Phantasm, like if they don't take away his Maokai, he probably won't play Elise anyway.
I am expected to see the Maokai ban continue. His win rate on it, he's looked really good. I've looked at his builds. He plays a lot of the Maokai. He played a lot with the full AP build. He's done the tank build. So I would expect that to be denied. As well on Phantasm side, they got a chase of the Mordekaiser up top. I'm not certain they're going to allow that pick to stand unless they're going to play some of the more traditional counter picks to Mordekaiser. They do have blue side this time around, so it'd be interesting to see if they're going to prioritize. Both players do like to play the Urgot, and we do like to see a York on the blue side from time to time. Straight into the bans, here we go. Back with the Phantasm banning out the Seraphine, banning out the Maokai, denying those. Clinical coming out with the Aurelian Soul and the York ban. And we do see them on Phantasm side taking out that very, very strong Ivern pick.
Well, when you call it, you call it. Aurelian Soul is also off the table again. They just do not want them to have that. So
I don't know about that last ban from Clinical.
I'm not sure why the Kale is being target banned anyway. I don't see any play from
I didn't really see a lot of games on top side on the Kale, so I don't know if he's been hiding it. We do see immediately the Rel picked up initially first. I've actually seen this Rel played out of the jungle, as well as the support. Foxstep Bro does play it on the side of Phantasm as well. So this could be a flex pick for them. We do see the counter with the Mordekaiser and the Nautilus back again for Clinical, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Rail pickup is a good pickup. Rail is strong. Right after that rework, Rail is actually a champion again. So
Rel does bring a lot to the table after her particular rework. We do see the MF coming out of the side. I've noticed this pickup from Phantasm, but unfortunately, on the bill that I've seen MF taking on Phantasm side, Grim doesn't look to play it with the Collector. We do see the Olaf locked in. I have seen some Olaf from this top lane. Not really seeing a lot of Olaf games from the jungle side of Phantasm, so I would expect this to be a top Olaf into the Mordekaiser, and I would expect to see this Nautilus as support. However, we got a shocker here. They're going to flex the Mordekaiser, and they are going to pick up that Urgot for Frosted Crow. I've been kind of really interested to see the Urgot on the Crow. Crow and I have gone back and forth on this champion. I've asked him to play it for me. He said he didn't like it, but I have been teasing him because I have seen him spamming a lot of games on that Urgot. I have seen him run the Tank Shredder build with the Urgot building and rushing the Black Cleaver build as well. And I have seen a couple of interesting builds that he's ran that I'm not going to spoil the surprise on. We do see the Vigar ban coming out for Clinical. I think this is a good ban on Clinical side. The Vigar out of the mid, or if they want to flex it onto the support does play the Vigar down bottom, and also is playing the Rel, and so I think this is a smart ban from them. I would also expect to see probably the Annie ban coming out. We do see the Syndra being banned away from clinical. They're not going to allow that Syndra with the Vigar ban and the Syndra ban. I would expect to see the Annie ban coming out from clinical, probably denying the resource again on the mid lane. That would make the most sense. Although they do take out the other ban of his mid, which is the Gragas, which he plays mid as well. Kind of interested to see then what we're gonna see out of this mid lane from both sides here. Are we going to see maybe Phantasm ban out the Annie? Or maybe we're gonna see a Victor ban. Both of them run the Victor with the Lysandra ban. Oh, we are gonna see.
I saw that. I was about to say because there hasn't been a single AD carry ban, and I was just waiting for one. And it's gonna be Sivir actually.
We are going to ban the Sivir away from clinical. We are going to see what they respond with. The Ezreal does seem to be a comfortable pick for Grim down below on the side of Phantasm, and also as well coming out of Helium. I'd be interested to see though if now they're going to flex the more mid, or are they going to flex that towards the jungle?
Okay, so you were as confused on that as I was. Great, thank you. Because I had no idea what was happening in this draft until Ezreal got picked. I thought we were gonna have a Mordekaiser bottom, like good old season. What was that? 7 when he could take Dragon. Remember that?
We do see the set come out. So it looks like they are going to put that Olaf in the jungle, and I would expect that set to be top, unless we're fixing to see some spicy set support with the Rel jungle. I'd be really interested to see that matchup.
Set mid lane if they want to take it there.
I don't know if I've ever seen games from the mid playing the set. It's kind of a hard kit to learn on the fly. So unless he's been hiding games, I wouldn't expect it. Oh, we do see good old Cassiopeia. That does my heart so well to see the cast. Thank you, Phantasm, for playing cast. I like the Cassio pick here. And I would expect to see the Tank Buster build on the cast rather than the Rod of Ages. Typically, Cassio going in a triple matchup, especially if they flex the Mord mid. We do see the Swain picked up. Very interesting. I would expect that Swain to be bottom. With the Ezreal? No, that Swain's going to be mid, and then Not's going to be bot. We're going to see the Mord out of the jungle. I think that's what we're going to see. The Cassio into that particular matchup, put the Urgot up top into that matchup. And I think that's a lot of beef on Clinical. That is a lot of beef on that team right now. Although we do see an interesting combination with the Cassio ult layered with the MF, layered with the Rel, layered with the set being able to pull somebody out. So we're in for a very spicy fight.
All I was thinking was as I looked at that Phantasm team is that is a lot of lockdown.
There's a lot of CC. There's actually a lot of CC. I mean, there's more CC on Phantasm side. There's a little bit more interesting CC play on Clinical side. But the big,
there's a lot of lockdown and then blow you up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of fighting in this game. I don't expect this is gonna be a 5-5 game here. I'm expecting bloodshed. As a Cassio player myself, I want to see her go on the Tank Buster build. Going into that particular matchup, I'll be interested to see what she does. The Swain, I'll be really interested to see. So there's some tricks now with the Swain where you can run the Helia, and it makes it very, very difficult to take a Swain down because the Swain basically heals forever. So unless you go early heal cut, the Swain can sustain. If the Swain decides to rush Rylai's and the Helia, which is what I would expect to see, given this particular lineup, the Swain has huge sustain, and unless somebody's getting some early heal cut on Phantasm side, the Swain can be problematic, especially when you got a Not and a Mordekaiser and an Urgot behind it. So yeah, this is going to be a bloodbath. I'm really, really anxious to get on the Rift and see how this performs. I don't like the Ezreal here. I really don't. I kind of wish that they had gone for something a little bit more safer, like maybe the Tristana uh, would have been a better pick for them to kind of get out of some of these fights. Anything touches that Ezreal, he's falling over dead.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The Ezreal pick, I'm not actually sure why they would pick Ezreal here. I would expect something like you said, Tristana. I mean, I would have even expected Caitlyn before I pictured Ezreal being picked here. But
Yeah, the Callista, I think would have been another interesting pick. The Callista has an interesting playability, especially going into a cast in a set that she could kite extremely well and stay out of the max range of the Cassio's Q if she plays it right, as well as being able to avoid the set pull in. So I think the Callista might have been a better pick, but I think I've seen the big games on it on clinical side on that Callista on Helium. But we're gonna have to see how this Ezreal performs in this matchup. He's gonna land in that miasma. He can't get out. He can't get away. The set's gonna pull him in, even if he gets out of his first sleep ability and gets out the way. He's still gonna get back into the set. It doesn't take him out. Same with the Olaf range on his axe throw. He's gonna get slowed and chased down. So that's a very, very kind of interesting pick to take into this matchup.
yeah, I mean, we'll see how well it works for him. I hope it does work well for him. I mean, again, Ezreal, I'm not gonna say he's not strong currently. I mean, he's always been kind of middle of the pack anyway. Um, you usually get strong with changes to any of the Sheen items or anything like that. And since there hasn't been any major changes to those, he's still kind of somewhere in the middle of the 80 carries.
You bring up a good point with the Sheen on the Ezreal. We might actually see the Trinity Force coming out of him instead of the Essence Reaver combination. There has been some Ezreals where I've seen them do kind of the Zuri build where you take the Trinity Force first. You skip the Bloodthirster on Ezreal. It's not really a good second item for him. But I would expect maybe Triforce into something juicy to try to get some damage up there.
I mean, you could do the Triforce into Static Shiv. That would most likely work for Ezreal.
Not so much. Ezreal's not really the best of the on hit with the energize. I mean, you can run it.
His Q?
It will, but he doesn't get quite the burst out of it. I mean, it is an option. I'd be interested if they're going to do that as a second or third item. So it is kind of an interesting way to do it. We'll kind of see.
All right, all right. In that case, then.
All right, here. Let's take a look one more time. Going over our matchups here. Just kind of looking to see if anybody's got any fun builds on any of these particular characters that we need to look at. The Olaf is kind of interesting. I'll be kind of interested to see what route he's going to take his build. With the changes that came in, he doesn't have all the go buttons that he's going to have, but he does have a lot to combo off of. I would expect him to target he's not really having much of a choice. He's going to have to go head first into that Nautilus ult and then try to get on top of the Ezreal. I'll be very interested to see how this Olaf plays into this fight. He can't just run down Swain. That's not going to work too easy for him if he can't get to the Swain and the Swain's out sustaining him. So I'll be interested to see how the Olaf is going to build into this matchup. I really, really want to see this Misfortune. She's going to have to go. I'm hoping we're going to see the Trinity Force build with the Misfortune in the Collector, in the LDR to kind of handle some of these. But I've seen the Misfortune build that this particular ADC is running, and that's not going to work if he takes that build into this lineup. He's not going to have the damage potential to get on some of these tanks. He's not going to have the damage potential on the Swain. So really, really want to see the Misfortune playing a different style on that particular build. And then the Rel. The Rel is an interesting one due to the changes. She's in an interesting spot. She got the attack speed adjustments. She got the attack speed growth potential. She's got the armor growth potential. She's got the magic resist, and then she's got the move speed bonus, just off the base stats. And then we're looking at the new passive changes with the death proof magnets and the stacks on stacks. So it'll be kind of interested to see which way they've taken. I don't know how much you've been watching some of the Koreans with the Rel build, but the jungle build at least is a very interesting combination.
I'm going to take your word for it because that was a lot of information. Not believing you.
All right. So, looks like we're just waiting to head up onto the rift here momentarily.
All right. So, yep. While we wait for that, while we're going over everything, I just want to say one thing, and I just want to put it out there before we get in the game. I am pretty sure that is a jungle Urgot. I don't know why, but I think it is. I know we think he's not in we think he's top lane. That's the Mordekaiser, but I swear to you, I think that's a jungle Urgot.
Thing about a jungle Urgot is his first clear is so slow that he needs to get really good time, and he can be punished super easy as a jungler to punish an Urgot because his clear is so slow. I would expect to see the Mordekaiser just because the clear speed is there and the gank potential with the lockdown from the Nautilus and the Urgot and the Swain in every single lane is going to be stronger. Not to say that the Urgot can't do it. It's just I think with the slow speed and not really good kind of going into those other lanes to get a gank off, he's relying on them to set up the gank. Whereas if you're bringing the Mordekaiser, you have the grab, the pull to bring him back. You have everything else, all the tools that the Swain has with the grip and hold, with the Nautilus, with the anchor down. You have more tools to kind of get into those fights. So, unless they're going to make changes to Urgot's kit to make his jungle faster, I think if memory serves me correctly, he has one of the lowest jungle clear speeds out of all the jungle options. Funnily enough, I think Brand might be just slightly slower than or slightly faster than Urgot. All right, we are going to take a quick break before we go into this matchup, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, and we're loading off onto the rift. We're getting a quick start out here. Thoughts on the invade? Are we going to see one again, or are we going to see another 5 point?
I think we're probably going to see just another 5 point. I don't think anyone wants to take the risk of the invade going wrong and giving any early goal to the other team. Everybody wants to just play it safe now, and that's kind of what we're seeing again.
All right, so as we talked about, the Mordekaiser is going to be the jungle. He has opted to take the ghost route, which is pretty standard. We are going to see the teleport flash on the Swain, pretty standard conch setup. The Nautilus does take the Aftershock, and of course the Olaf is elected for Conquer. We are seeing the conch build out of the Cassiopeia. The Misfortune, oh, she playing fire. She's elected to take a ghost and a flash over a cleanse into this team. Very, very ballsy choice. That's going to be crazy. We are seeing the standard rel as the setup, and then the set is going to be top. What do you think about these matchups?
I think these matchups are about to be fun. Went with the sweeper to clear with the ward in the beginning for Mordecai. It's a good job there. I think that top lane is going to be just a fight once they hit level probably 2. It's just probably going to be an all-out brawl up there. Mid lane, I think we're going to be seeing probably less jungle pressure mid lane. Cassiopeia is relatively safe, and so is Swain. Bottom, I think, is where we're going to see a lot of the action, because both these support and carries are down there now, and it looks like they both are willing to fight. And like I said, at level 2, set is going in onto Frosted, and I don't know what happened, but now we're down here in the bot lane, and they're also fighting. No summoners used. A lot of damage onto both sides.
You see fighting across the board on every single lane. Health bars under 40%. We are seeing the quick level 3 gank from the Mordekaiser chasing down on the set with the Urgot. Not able to finish the gank. However, they are able to get a lot on and force the set to go back. Nice try from the Mordekaiser. I do believe that was a good play from that Mord to try to immediately gank and get some pressure for the Urgot. We know that the Olaf tends to be a lot of times at half health or lower when fighting in his jungle, so he's not necessarily the greatest of level 3 gankers, so excellent play on their side. We are seeing the Rel and the Misfortune push up into this tower, knowing that the Mordekaiser was up top and they could be a little bit more denying if they want to deny some waves for the CS and hold this lane here for a little bit. We do see Mordekaiser heading back below, and we see Olaf still up top.
Yep, see. Looks like they just want to pick some fights in level 2. Everybody's relaxed now. Olaf is clearing out Dodo Crab, taking the ward out away from Swain, taking any vision away from Clinical. Bot lane, it feels like they're looking for the fight here. On Clinical side, they are pushing.
They do have the wave pushing up, so they can if they want. Looks like the Mord is trying to position themselves. Olaf made it clear he was still up top and caught a ward. So they know that they can push this out a little bit, and the Clinical can take this fight. Here we go.
Engage. They are onto rail right now. Mordecai on the Misfortune. Misfortune does a great flash, but the E pulls it back in. But they're going to change target to the rail, and the rail gets smashed by the Mordekaiser. First blood over to Clinical on Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser able to roam down below. They knew that Olaf was up top. After Swain had popped his E onto him, he walked over a ward. They knew they were free to gank it, and that blue, honestly, Phantasm should have expected that. They should have known where he was at. We do see the cast pushing into the Swain. Cassie's opted for getting a little bit more CS. She didn't try. It looked like she tried to do some little trading at 3. That's kind of the way that matchup goes early on. The cast can go for the level 3 all in if she wants to. However, since she took teleport over Ignite, Swain's able to kind of get away, although she's able to get that CS lead. Kind of see that evening out towards the mid game once Swain gets his tools at his disposal. And right now we've got Urgot pressuring the set into the tower. And I would expect him to get this last CS and then probably to back away and recall it.
Set does get the engage. He does get the pull on. He does get the haymaker, I believe it's called. Urgot flashes out, doesn't want any of that, and instead lets him be.
Yeah, Crow, I think he was playing a little bit with fire. He tried to get that last CS in, got caught by the set, getting that last CS, took a trade he didn't want, and now he's put himself in a bad position. Set's going to try last hitting and denying the Urgot. The Urgot knows he has a small advantage in levels, and if he can get an angle, he can possibly kill the set before the shield comes out, but I would expect knowing Frosted Crow like I did, he is going to sit around and wait and see if he can't get it. Oh, we have a fight down bottom. What's going on here?
Gang from Olaf. He was waiting in the bush for the red engage. They did engage, and now they're onto the Nautilus. The Ignite came out, and Nautilus chooses to go back in. But Rail is low on HP, and Mordekaiser is coming in. He's coming right now. He got the ghost down. He pulls into Olaf. Rail's in the back. They're trying to take down Olaf. All three of them. The bullet time comes down. They do get the Mordekaiser. They do get the Nautilus, and they trade out Olaf. And now Swain is here. Swain's coming down, and so is Cassiopeia. He flashes, misses the pull. He does get the ultimate. And that takes out Rail. Cassiopeia comes down. Cassiopeia throws out her ultimate, throws down her miasma. The pull misses. She's still fighting Swain. Unfortunately, Cass goes down. Swain walks away, and that was 3 for 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this particular fight, you did put 2 kills on the Swain. The Rel took one of the kills, and only 1 kill went onto the MF, and 1 kill went onto the Cass. So, all in all, I would consider that a win for Clinical. Putting 2 kills onto the Swain is huge. It is going to allow Swain to sustain better against the Cass in this particular matchup. And I do believe, unfortunately, Mord kind of got himself in trouble in that particular fight. He was trying to shield the MF. I think there might have been a miscommunication because the MF backed up a little bit too far. That's probably goes a little bit fight. We still have the fighting and positioning up top. Set's able to jump on top of the Urgot. Urgot is kiting the Set away, but the Set is able to chase down and gets a solo kill onto the Crow.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I did recognize what Foster was trying to do. He was trying to get his legs into position to get more damage onto the Set, but Set was positioned against the wall, so he could not do that. He couldn't get his back legs around to him, so unfortunately he was at a disadvantage that fight. And unfortunately cost him his life. He did get the flash on the Set, so that won't be up for his next fight with him. And he did go ahead and grab the Bramble, so he'd probably be at an advantage next fight because Set did barely win that one.
Yeah, it should be kind of interesting when he comes back in the lane with the Bramble being able to fight the Set directly. The Set opting to take a little bit more of a damage-oriented item here. Not certain.
Is this a fight in the mid lane?
Got a little bit of a skirmish, but the Mordekaiser is going to come right in on this Cassiopeia. Cass is going to ult and try to run away for best of her life. I think she probably will get away.
Olaf is here, but he's not going to dive the tower for that.
Unfortunately for this matchup for Olaf, he is kind of in a weird spot. He doesn't necessarily want to chase into a Swain early on, especially into the tower. Down bot is going to be pretty hard to get through the Nautilus into the Ezreal. He might seek to invade the jungle and take the fight directly into the Mord, knowing that the Mordekaiser ult is down. Meanwhile, up top, we still got this fight. Crow and Riptide just going at it. Punch for punch, blow for blow.
And he is going to get eaten.
Good ultimate for the execute on the Set. That unfortunately is the part of the Urgot kit where you're going to get that execute. Set will be wise to remember that in the future, that he doesn't have to get him to 0. He just has to get him low enough for the execute.
As he flash Horsey from Rail into nobody, misses the Mordekaiser. They're still going to do that dragon. They're probably going to pick that up, no problem, and they do. Now they're trying to take the fight. Rail does get the 3-man knockup. That's the Misfortune ultimate. Not doing anything, kind of whiffing there. Cassiopeia is taking out or just moving back from the fight. Now going to die to Swain because it has no flash, unfortunately. That's a double kill on the Swain.
Very dirty and ugly fight. They were able to secure the dragon. It was kind of a chaotic mess. I think if they had turned around onto The Swain, they could have got the shutdown onto the EMF. I think that'd have been more important rather than chasing that Ezreal away. Really would have liked to have seen them go and get a kill for the EMF on the Swain. Unfortunately, though, with the way this game is going out, Swain has all the kills along with the Urgot, and again, we don't really have a lot on the ADC side, but we do see a good amount of farm coming out from the EMF over the Ezreal. She's already got a 23 CS lead. We'll have to see how that pans out. She's already got a first item done, and she's elected to get the Ghost Blade.
Yeah, chose with the Yomus. So this is the Axiom Arc build then, right?
Yeah, I think she's doing the Axiom Arc build. Again, like I've seen her builds on the MF, and she kind of opts for some interesting builds. I'm not certain that that's the build you want to be taking into a triple tank matchup. But meanwhile, we got a fight breaking out over here up top.
Yeah, Nautilus Q hit the wall, but that doesn't matter because Cassiopeia gets executed. The fear doesn't hit anybody because Olaf chooses the ult at the right moment. Still getting chased down by Urgot, backs away, goes to the Rift Hero. Set returns to his top lane, and this looks like it's going to be a Rift Hero for Clinical.
So Clinical has decided to take a play out of Phantasm's book. They send the Nautilus up top to help secure the dragon. They're leaving the Ezreal down bottom by himself with the Rel and MF going into the tower. What we want to see is what's fixing to happen now. We need to see this Rel really push into Ezreal, drive him off the lane, don't allow him to get any CS, and say, go call for your support back and don't fight us.
They do need to punish this because right now Nautilus is just kind of in the mid lane existing, and Ezreal should not be able to do anything here. It is look like Nautilus is making his way back down though, so that's some pressure off of Ezreal, and and more pressure off the rest of Phantasm.
Yeah, we are seeing some zoning from the Rel on the Ezreal with the not roam, able to punish. Now the MF has a 30 CS lead over the Ezreal. She's already got her first item. The Ezreal hasn't completed the first item yet, so we know the next team fight that the MF is going to have that particular advantage. And honestly, Ezreal, early on when he gets in these situations, he is not the greatest of CS farmers compared to a lot of the ADCs.
Yeah. Also, we saw the flash E from Urgot. Didn't hit anything, but it doesn't matter because Mordekaiser is here to help him on this one. Oh, hits the ultimate.
Oh, that was a smart play from the Mord, able to get the execute damage and rain for the Urgot, tank the extra hit, give time to Crow to line up his ult shot, and then says, here you go, enjoy your free kill. That is now 4 kills for the Urgot. Whereas he got 2 on the set, and I was interested to see what Crow was going to do with the Urgot, and so far he's producing.
It's always fun to see. It's always fun to see our friends succeed. So that's great. Unfortunately, not great for Phantasm, because it looks like right now that Urgot is giving Set the business, and he does have his first completed item, which is no surprise to anybody. Frosted Gauntlet.
So he has elected for the Gauntlet build rather than the Black Cleaver build. This is simply because Set is not really, at this point, going to be building a full tank, and they don't really have a tank on that. I mean, Rel counts as a half tank, I guess, but he doesn't need to go the Black Cleaver option. Instead, he's taking the more tanky option for himself, which I'm not surprised to see, but we're seeing some more trade here. The Olaf has gone into the jungle to say hi to Mordekaiser. I don't think that's where he wants to be.
No, if he chooses to peace out. No, only someone that popped was Mordekaiser with the ghost. So they'll have that up on them for the next fight, which should be over this dragon, which spawned in 2 seconds, and it's up. Stone Dragon doesn't look like Clinical cares though.
Well, in this particular case, I mean, they have a Cassio. And a Cassio ensures that if you want to do a dragon, you're going to be in a better spot. Cassio can burn dragon really quick early on. She already has a Lysandre's build, so it tells me Leandri, so she is going for the more of the tank build. I would expect to see the Demonic Embrace as her second item. And so it is easier for them to secure especially when they're not going to send the Urgot, waste his time. Although in this particular case, Urgot does finish his tower, so he is able to secure that tower down. And it'll be interesting to see what we're going to do here. We're going to see bot try to put in a top lane and force Urgot off that lane, or are we going to see a standard lane and we're just going to see the Urgot bully the set?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of bullying right now, there is a freeze in the bot lane. Ezreal has picked up his Trinity Force though, so there is some hope there. But like you said, MF is dominating him in CS. She's about 30 up. So
she's 30 up. You know the easy is going to want to take a Manamune as a second particular item. So his 2-item spike is not that great, although he does have sustain and better wave clear at that point because of the increased mana. However, we do see Shelly crashing into the mid wave, not able to finish off that particular tower. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see the posture here since they are Cassio. Are they going to try to position themselves for an early Baron, which is something that is something that I run in my playbook with the Cassio pick, and a lot of organizations do that to when you got the early burn, especially with an MF ult on top to be able to secure that area. We do see a swap here from looks like they are going to swap the Ezreal to the mid, I think, or to the top. We're fixing to see here what's going on, but Nautilus is roaming up top. The Ezreal is recalled, allowing the MF to push this lane. I would expect this tower to go down as well. And we're going to see what happens here up top here in a second.
Yeah, it looks like Ezreal is heading towards the mid lane. So looks like you're right on that. Looks like the lane swap has come out. I was expecting them to swap out Urgot with somebody, but I mean, not Urgot. I was expecting to come on the other side. I mean, expecting Set to maybe switch with somebody else, but no.
Yeah, I'm not certain Set wants that lane. I don't think Set wants to be in that lane right now. Against that Urgot, I think he wants out of that lane and wants to be anywhere but next to that Urgot. We are seeing some posturing down below. We have switched the Swain and the Cass down towards the bottom. We've switched the mid laner, the ADC and support to mid. I would have liked to have seen them maybe swap into the Urgot and get the Set in the middle. I think that might have been a better option
I think that was going to happen
at this point.
We were wrong on that. But it does mean, though, that they are setting up for the Baron play on both sides. They are aware it is that time. I mean, Cassiopeia. I mean, I feel like the Cassiopeia switch to the bottom was weird because she can burn it down quickly. So
yeah, they're gonna take the Herald here. They're gonna start it. They have the 4. I believe Cass and Swain, if necessary, will teleport into this if they want to do anything. We do see the Seek coming around, and we do see the teleport already coming around. So we are gonna see the 5v5.
Okay, so we do get to engage. And well, this fight is extremely chaotic, but it looks like Phantasm came out the clear winners here. Mordekaiser still has full HP though, so he can.
Mordekaiser was not in the fight. He took somebody for a ride, but unfortunately now with this cast with the Leandries, the Mordekaiser really doesn't want this fight. Belby can control the range with the Mordekaiser. The Mordekaiser does not have the ult in which to respond, and Belby can kite all day at this point with full HP. So unless Belby does something crazy here, I would expect them to be able to push him away and Phantasm to grab this particular Shelly.
Oh, there's another teleport coming down from Phantasm. It's going to be the Urgot. Are they going to try to anything here, or did he just teleport here for fun?
I think he's teleporting mid for the CS. He sees the big wave. He sees to be able to push it. I think he's just going to grab the CS real quick because he's a greedy crow, and then maybe shift down the bottom towards the dragon. So it does look like what they're doing. They're trying to posture for dragon immediately. Get ready for the next fight. They know. They just had some small missteps. I would not expect the Mordekaiser to ult so early this time and to pick a better target to ult. And I would also expect the Urgot to get up front here and start bullying him around. So.
We have a lot happening right now. They did get the...
Wayne is just saying, come at me, bro. And they are now on the run trying to get away from this fight. They do not want this right now.
And Clinical picks up Fox Step Bro on the rail, so that's another one over to Swain.
Swain looking pretty strong. He doesn't have the great farm that Cassio has, but he does have the 6 kills. He does have the Rylai's completed. He is going to be able to get his second item on this particular back, and we are seeing them now push towards EMF, drive our way, secure this dragon, and then I would expect maybe some posturing over on the Baron side, on the top side, as now the Baron timer's live, and it looks like we're going to see them start doing some more clearing and ward setting up.
Oh no, they're just going to start it.
Sneaky with the Cassio. I believe they've taken a page out of my book and said, we are going to burn this for a dragon. I love this play. I love this play.
But it's too late.
They did not have it warded. They didn't respect a Cassio. This is something I talk about all the time with my team. You're able to sneak an early Baron because if you don't have the ward there and you're not expecting it, she can burn that Baron so quick. So they did get smart with it. They picked it up. Well done. Sneaking in and trading a Baron for a dragon. I hope Soulkeeper's taking notes.
Was well done on the side of Phantasm. They knew there was no wars there, and they chose to capitalize. The Swain W did come out, and they did see at the last moment. That's where the Ezreal flew past, but it was too late. Good old bromance into a chat. Anyway,
had to give Soul a little love on that one. He knew I was getting that one in.
All right, so now we got Baron powered minions hitting the mid lane tower. That's going down. Unfortunately, they can't stop that.
They are going to try to get the kill. They are chasing down Riptide. Riptide is running all over the place trying to get out of here. He's trying so hard. He's going to get an ult on here and try to run away, but I don't think he's going very far and very fast. I think he's going down. So the Mordekaiser will get the shutdown onto the set. I would have liked to see the Urgot get that, honestly, rather than the Mord. But you take what you get. Meanwhile, in the mid, we got the first tower going down. Phantasm is going to start assaulting the second tower. I don't know if they're going to get this one with Mordekaiser coming over and possibly the Urgot showing up. I think they're going to back up. More importantly, though, look at the CS difference from the MF to the Ezreal. It is now blown up to 50 plus, and we are now looking at MF when she recalls to get her second item. Interesting from the Nautilus, unlike the last time, he's not opted to go for the Abyssal Mass. We're kind of interested to see with the Swain and a Mordekaiser if he's going to play that particular route, or if he's just going to continue to build for tank and for frontline defense, or if he's going to give more damage to the Swain. The Swain has completed the Zonias as a second choice. I'm not certain I agree with that particular option on the Swain as my second item. When you are 6 and 2, sir, you should be going for more damage.
No mythic at all?
Yeah, I'm not certain I like that from that Swain. Not with the elite he's gotten from his team. I kind of question that particular choice about him.
And now Riptide's getting run down by Frosted. And yeah, Frosted is, I guess he's looking for revenge because he is dealing a lot of damage. He tries to flash out, but Frost is following him. Now we switch it over to the mid lane, and
the MF did get to collect her at the second item. She was able to collect the kill on the Nautilus early. I am liking the Collector as a second item here. Able to secure the kill. The cross kill over from the Cassiopeia is able to take down another. She goes down. Cassio able to get the double kill, but then the Urgot. My goodness, the Urgot and the Swain. This is the problem. The problem child. The Cass went for the Leandry Spur. She did wisely get the heal cut out to kind of help, but unfortunately not able to secure a kill on the Swain, and the Swain continues to be an issue.
I mean, right now Swain and Urgot are menaces to society, and they need to be stopped. Unfortunately, that tower did nothing for MF. Immediately got dove, and they are going to take that mid lane tower. Seeing pings for the jungle from red side. Not sure if they want to move in there. I'm seeing pings.
They're gonna play around this dragon that's fixing to come up here, and so that's why we're seeing the pings go out. It's to meet back clear vision, start getting ready for this next fight, this next dragon. They know after that fight, with the Swain being so big and the Urgot being so big, but the only answer they have to him is the positioning on the Cassio. She needs to avoid being the target, and they are going to have set fight with him. They cannot get caught right here.
And unfortunately, they are getting caught right now.
The Rel caught out of position. She will jump over the wall. However, at this point, now you've got Clinical in full control of the pit.
And Mordekaiser with the 2-man pull over the wall, actually. Pull set through. And they choose to back away from that.
They're choosing the bad spot to run down the mid and not respect the pick potential of here.
Mordekaiser, MF ult is
but
huge.
That MF ult with the Collector doing work with the set to pull them back in. She is able to shut it down. Triple kill for the set. That was a beautiful play. That's exactly why they needed that set to stay in that fight. He was able to give enough time for the MF to layer the ult, and they were not able to get in a position to take the MF out. Well done. Well layered on that one.
That was very bad position on the part of Clinical, unfortunately. They just kind of walked head first into an MF. Well, they walked head first into a Cassiopeia. And unfortunately, that let MF do her thing. That's both. Is this both the hit towers going down?
This might be game. I think they can burn this down. The timers are coming back up, but if they focus this, they get this down. And yes,
and they do it.
They do. Phantasm is able to finish off this game off the backs of that Cassio ult with the set pull in into the MF, getting the wombo combo, and securing the victory over Clinical. Wow, what a finish to that game.
It was beautiful. I'm glad I got to see that.
The power of Cassio. I keep telling folks.
Oh man, that was so unfortunate for them. They tried to pick that fight because it looked like they were in a better position than them to go in. They got the pick onto who was the first guy? They got the pick onto.
Well, the Nautilus walked in the queue and he immediately got blown up, and then the Swain and everything else just got all caught in by the Cassio Miasma ult combo, and then the set shield, and then pulled them back in with the MF layered on top. By the time anybody knew what was going over, the fight was over. This is exactly what they needed to do. They switched the items. They got MF on the correct item with getting the Collector second. I really like that adjustment. They brought Set into the team fight. He was just getting brutalized by Crow down there solo by the Urgot, just running wild over him.
Yep. I mean, let's give it to Set. That lane was brutal. Said like we said, Frosted Curls the Menace. But his team fighting ults were on point. He did not come in weak in these team fights. And I mean, last one showed it. That MF Set ult was and Cassiopeia ult were beautiful.
Yes, well timed in there that last fight. Their last couple of fights, he didn't have the set there. The Urgot was able to bully solo the set and basically turned every team fight they had into an Urgot fully up, almost fully health, and they're taking a 5v4 fight. When they brought the set in, said, "Hey, we need you in these fights. We need the layered CC." They were able to lay out a really, really good wombo combo. Totally took them by surprise. Coming off that backside, they all lumped in together right into a Cassio ML combo on layered with the set. It was a really, really beautiful combination. Well played from both teams. But at the end, Phantasm made the adjustments that they needed to make. Came away with that much needed victory.
And congrats to them on that one. That was a great ending to game 2. That was great.
All right, so wrapping up, get your thoughts on both matches. Live up to expectations.
Oh yeah, definitely. I expected both these games to be bloodbaths, and they were. I expected Frosted to put in work, and he did. He didn't win one, but he still put in work. I thought I'd see some interesting choices from the supports. I saw Nautilus. Not shocking, but still fun to watch. In the first game, they show you that Nautilus, while still a good pick, if basically mishandled, can still not be the best champion, you know? Because that Roman Nautilus thing they did earlier with the protected silver comp didn't pan out early game until they got more power into the silver.
Yeah. That first game, getting the power into the silver, gave them the good team fighting. It's almost like they had somebody coaching them, which is our sponsor today, which is Coachify.gg. If you need to get assistance with getting some coaching to improve your league play, I myself have been getting some coaching on the side, as my former coach and team said I'm a terrible mid player, and usually the mid diff is because I'm the one inting and dying. So I can tell you, getting a coach and getting somebody else to look at your games absolutely does help. I believe I can plug myself and say I'm running a 70% win rate in Viger after like 25 games after my coaching session. So definitely worth it if you're looking to get some oomph in your game. Check out coachify.gg to get that assistance.
I'm glad you ended it on a higher note than when you started that. God dang, dude. You started that so brutal. Like, yeah, I'm the enter, bro. It's just always me.
It's always my fault. It's mid diff. Give a shout out to both teams. They played a great game. I'm a little jelly at Crow that now that he's not on my team, decides to run the damn Urgot that I've been begging for 2 years. So very happy to see him play the Urgot really well. Really happy to see some of these fights were just brutal. They were just everybody wanted some beatings, some beatdowns, some bludgeoning across the board. Really some fights. Really liked the ending of that game. Did not see the end of that game coming. Just a great wombo combo, and able to run it down with the death timers being a little bit longer than they thought. I do believe Oni is saying HSG went 0-2 on their game. Haven't got any words on how the other teams did today. Little surprised on the 0-2. I would expect it a 1-1, which I think was in my predictions. I'll have to take a look at the reviews on that one and take a look at that batch for myself and see what happened there.
Like 0-2s and they lost too?
They lost. They went 0-2. They did not go 2-0. They went 0-2.
Well, that sucks, guys. Get good.
Wow. Well, you heard it from Agite this evening saying get good. And that's all you need to do to get better is just to get good. For LXC Astroglider,
use coachify.gg.
That's right. To get yourself some coaching and get good. That's all for us this evening. I don't have anything more. So with that, I will say good night to everybody. We really appreciate you watching this evening, and great games.
Yep. GG's.